Mhm.
So we can start the webinar. First, thank you to all of you to be present today for the presentation of the project Tacticos. I think we are still 35 participants, and more will come for sure in some minutes. Before letting the floor to the colleagues, I would like just to introduce some words about ENVITER, which is the network who support the presentation today for this Tacticos project. ENVITER is a network at EU level, a network of professionals working in the field of visual impairment and blindness. And ENVITER is a network of more than 35 organizations throughout Europe. And the objective of ENVITER is to share practices and to develop and build projects together in the field of this subject of visual impairment. So thank you to all of you to be present today, and I let the floor to the colleagues for the starting of the presentation of the Tacticos project.
Thank you, Philippe.
Thank you. Okay. While my colleague Ivona will lead you through the content of the project and all the work that was done in the past 3 years, I would like to introduce to you a little bit of the background of the project. Ivona, can you go to the next slide? So just a little bit of an introduction into the project and how this project came to be. Then Ivona will continue and talk about concept development, and we'll show you a lot of the work and the results that were done during the project. And we will close by having a Q&A session where you can ask your questions, and we will explain how you can find all the work that was done and how you can stay in touch with the team in case you have any questions in the future. So how the project came to be, the start of the idea, actually, we have to go back a couple of years when we were talking with Anneke, one of the main initiators of this project, who's also in the meeting today. And I were talking about the need for maybe improving the cooperation between Visio and the publisher in the Netherlands, Dedicon, who's also part of the project. And we said, well, there's a need for more shared guidelines because we have different perspectives, and it would be really great if we can work together. So there was a project set up, and but it was rejected in the Netherlands. So we said, okay, maybe we can use this as a step up to not maybe do this in the Netherlands only, but maybe to look if other organizations in Europe also experience the same issues and challenges, because we thought we could not be the only one dealing with these issues. So from that idea, we set up an Erasmus Plus project with the aim to support parents of children with visual impairment and professionals to be able to support their children in reading, concept development, and having a better learning experiences that are more similar to their sighted peers through improved and universal guidelines for tactile books and illustrations. So we said, okay, it would be really great if everybody who is involved in reading with children with visual impairment are able to either learn how to read tactile books or maybe make tactile books and work in a similar way. So the project was aimed at schools for VI students, advisors working in the schools, but also producers and publishers who are making tactile books and illustrations from different countries. And in our project, we have partners from France, from the Netherlands, and from Belgium. You can see the logos in the presentation on the right-hand side. So it's Les Doigts qui Rêvent from France as a publisher of tactile books. Dedicon, who's also a publisher of accessible reading materials in the Netherlands. Viv3 from France, a service provider for children with visual impairment, De Kade, school for visual impaired children in Belgium, and Visio from the Netherlands. But of course, our project was not only aimed at our countries, but also the materials would be available for a wider use. And Yvonne will explain about the materials later. Students from primary school to secondary school, well, let's say mostly primary school, 4 to 12 years old. The project started in 22 and it's active until September 25. So this is the last month that we are working on it. So it's a good time now to share the final results, because the project is closing. And we are happy to share the results. Many of the project partners are also in this meeting. So maybe some of them will also be able to share a little bit about their experience at the end of the presentation when we are doing our Q&A. So what did we do? We developed new guidelines for making tactile books. And what we also did was have workshops for professionals and caregivers. And in the project, we produced 2 books, A Long Journey and Roundy, for 2 separate age groups, developmental age groups as well, especially for 4 to 8 years old. And what we did is we developed the project in several phases. So we started by preparing guidelines, really going through all the different kinds of definitions. And that took a while because, of course, there's also always a lot of discussions on definitions, but that was really good. So we set up guidelines, and after we had done that, we said, okay, it would be really great if using these guidelines, we can test the guidelines by actually preparing books according to our own guidelines and providing training later on how to work and read the books. So that's what we did. And finally, in short, also we prepared a website that contained all the outcomes and the resources. So basically that's in a nutshell, the structure of the project, how it came to be, what we did, who we did it with, who we did it for. And I will now give the floor to Yvonne, who will explain much more about the actual content of the project.
Thank you, Aukje. I'm Yvonne. I'm a Braille teacher in the Netherlands at the School of Visio in Amsterdam. And I'm going to tell you something about, at first, the importance of tactile books. Of course, children with a visual impairment have limited access to adapted books. They are missing information, for example, what is going on in the world around you. It's difficult to understand the behavior of people around you. You can't read mimics, so you don't know what people mean because you don't see their faces. Objects are often out of reach. So it's very important that the adults are playing a big role in explaining and stimulating and making it a joy to use books, tell stories, and let them feel the pictures and talk about it. So yes, that's the most important thing of using tactile books with blind children. There is a concept development, of course, because a concept is something that is abstract. It's a symbol or a certain knowledge of a certain object. Examples of concepts are, for instance, to fly, to swim, friendship, hope, a bird, a duck. But it's generally explained by words. And especially when they are abstract terms, it's very difficult to understand for a blind child what you mean. For example, does a bird sit on a branch like we people sit on their bottom? Or is an umbrella like a ball so it can catch the rain? Yet it's not illogical if you have never felt the legs of a parakeet close around your finger, or if you never held an umbrella. A concept can take different shapes or sizes. For example, if you want to teach a child the concept of a ball, simply showing and feeling a soccer ball isn't enough. The child might think that only a soccer ball is called a ball. The child learns that a tennis ball, a beach ball, or a ping pong ball are also called a ball. If you explain something only with words, confusion can arise. For example, if you say devouring a book, the child might think the book is literally being eaten. Other examples. Low vision or blind children sometimes think that a fish swims like people with their heads above water. A window and a mirror feel the same. It's difficult for a blind child to understand that sighted people can look through a window and see themselves in a mirror. A blind child can feel the ropes of a swing, but only as far as his arms reach. He doesn't see that the rope is attached to a beam, so he might think the swing is simply hanging loose in the air. An egg looks very different when it's cracked or fried. An orange or apple looks very different when it's cut in half. Or a toy car is suddenly no longer a car when the wheels are gone. Explore with the child when possible, with all senses. For example, go to the forest with your child or student and let them experience the length of a fallen tree. You can also touch, feel, and smell the bark of the tree, the leaves, the acorns, or chestnuts. Feel the difference between the stones of the playground and the brick wall of the house. Go to a farm and let the child feel, for example, a rabbit, a sheep, or a horse. What is characteristic? What kind of variations are there? For example, what makes a bird a bird? In this picture, children discover what a sieve is. This is a toy sieve, but a sieve can also be made of metal with or without a handle. They have holes in them that allow grains or liquid to fall through. There is a pitfall. For example, sorry, I already told that. The illustration or drawing or projection is also very important. It's a very abstract concept to a young child. Don't use perspective. It deforms lines and shapes. Use contours under a right angle. We call that orthogonal. Orthogonal is literally 90 degrees to each other. It means that two things that are orthogonal are entirely independent dimensions. The photo shows an example of an exercise with a transfer graph. In this case, a small table is used, but it could also be a chair, a bed, or a cupboard. The table is slid into a slot with straight lines. Then the raised line on the table is compared to the same line on swelling paper. All lines are perpendicular to each other. This is more for older children to use. Collage books or raised line drawings are...
Ja, ik zit nou in een online, ik hoef alleen maar...
Sorry, I hear someone talking. Collage books and raised line drawings are very different. Collage books, think fabric, paper, cardboard, plastic. You can make with very different materials. It's fun to touch. There are different textures. It's closer to 3D. Real objects are possible. When looking for materials, try to use something that evokes an association. For example, soft, fluffy fabric, which make you think of an animal with soft fur, such as a teddy bear. Giving meaning to lines and shapes requires a lot of practice. For very young children, it's good to start with very simple lines, not too many on one page. Here you see an example of a collage book with a teddy bear and a drawing of a teddy bear next to it. And you see a raised line drawing on the right with a playing man. We call it flexi man. And you can change the legs and the arms, and you can feel the lines of the arms and the legs also in the book. Working with top, front, and side view. When a child has properly learned to read tactile images, it will be able to build a very correct mental representation based on an explanation supported by tactile images. It develops spatial thinking. This image shows how to draw a top view, side view, and front view of a rocket by sliding the rocket through an opening in a wooden mold. The child better understands how to interpret the drawn lines. For example, it's a development of spatial thinking that's very important. Working with top, front, and side view with, for example, a bee, a picture of a bee, explanation is always necessary, not only in words. Use objects as an example. For example, you can use plastic materials, such as a bee, a cow, a horse. Language development. Reading helps to learn new words, contributes to socialization. Braille helps to understand and connect to the story. Illustrations support the story. It gives a physical support to the story. Here you are seeing a child reading a collage book. Children with visual impairment will ask less often to be read to, so offer it to them. There is so much to discover in the world around you. Sighted children discover this naturally. Visually impaired children need someone to draw attention to all those things around you. Tactile language and tactile strategies. In the first 5 years, a basic vocabulary is built. Words refer to their world and experiences. Basic vocabulary is necessary to expand their vocabulary. For a blind child, the process is slightly different. It's much more challenging to learn the child about concepts and tactile strategy. We teach the child to understand a word or concept through multi-sensory aspects. For visually impaired children, more verbal explanation is required. If you use tactile books, it can also serve as a source of tactile language. For example, it feels bumpy, it feels torn, it feels dotted, rough, curved, so the child can learn to give words to what he feels. These are the books our project has made. We made a book for younger children, A Long Journey, and we made a book for children from 12 years and older, Roundy. The book of Roundy is about Bob, a blind boy who is sitting in his garden when he suddenly hears the voice of Roundy, a friendly alien from the planet Verdian, a place of peace and beauty. Despite their differences, Bob and Roundy decide to explore the world together. Bob shares his knowledge of Earth, while Roundy acts as his eyes and explains new things. Together, they form a complementary team, embark on new adventures. The book Roundy was created from illustrations developed by Dedicon. Dedicon also provides detailed explanation on each page, so both the instructor and the student understand the purpose of the drawing. Through collaboration with various partners and their feedback, the story was further refined. The final result is a unique and inclusive reading experience, blending tactile creations and educational input. Brenda Zwijnenburg of Visio has creating an engaging story. Then, A Long Journey. The story follows three migratory birds who meet in the garden before embarking on their long journey. As they talk, one bird bravely shares his fears. I've heard that the trees have all burned down. I'm afraid I never find my home again. I also heard that the rivers have dried up. And so their adventure begins, marked by uncertainty and hope. This illustrated tactile album is the result of a co-design process involving various partners in the TACTICOS project. Each partner contributed their unique culture, creativity, skills, knowledge of visually impaired children, and manufacturing techniques to the album's design. The writing of the accompanying guide also provided valuable input for the book's development. The book itself was created by Les Doigts qui rêvent. About a long journey. It's for young children, 4 to 8. It's a collage book. And don't forget, the beginning is simple. A bird can easily be a square or a circle with a triangle for a beak. Step by step, children learn how many different bird species there are through experiences, stories, concrete materials, tactile images, and play. A package with materials to make the book yourself can be ordered at Les Doigts qui rêvent. About Roundy. It's made of swell paper. It's for older children, 8 to 12. How to use the book is very important. Every chapter has a QR code to the story. The text is in Braille. How to use the book is told by Dedicon in a very good way, and you all can read it if you scan the QR code. You can read it independently, but often need help with the pictures. And there are also big differences per child, of course. There is a lot of explanation needed, but it's also a fun story to read. It's a reading and doing book, not a book you can read in just an hour. Example book. Dedicon made the example book where they tell you how you can use the book and how you can explain everything to the child and how you can practice to work, for instance, with side view, top view, It shows clearly how you can explain the concepts using tactile drawings, and all the concepts are interwoven. Learning to read tactile drawings and underlying principles. It can be ordered at Dedicom. For whom are the guidelines and example books? There's a lot involved in designing, creating, and guiding the reading process to create good, easily readable and understandable tactile images. If everything is well coordinated and the child finds the picture and the accompanying explanation sufficient, or has a good reader or guide, then this leads to reading pleasure, learning, and a happy child. You see, there are a lot of people who can work with the guidelines and the example books. The parents, the caregivers, teachers, educational assistants, professionals in cluster 1, authors, illustrators, publishers, production center of books with braille and tactile images, and sometimes all roles are combined in a single parent. All types of designers can use our guidelines for support. Selecting a certain technique or approach. These are the things you need to consider when creating a tactile book. What exactly do I want? What is fun and good for the child? Will it be a one-time book or a larger edition? It's also important what the costs are to make the book. If you make, for instance, a collage book, it will cost a lot more because it's a lot of work. How many hours do you want to spend on it? What materials do you want to use? Investments are also important to think about. And the expertise. Do I have the necessary resources, time and money, but also exercise, expertise, craftsmanship, and equipment? A book like A Long Journey is very expensive to reproduce. On the photo, you see one page with a backpack, and in the backpack is a shawl, a teddy bear, and glasses. And all those things have to be made not only from paper, but also from fabric. And yes, it's a lot of work to make it. A book like Roundy can be reproduced relatively cheaply per copy, and with embossing, the cost price per copy can be significantly reduced. The designers may be professional, such as a qualified transcriber in an institution or a private company, or employed in a production structure, whether private, just as Tactile Studio, or associative publishing house, just as Les Doigts qui Rêvent, Mes Mains en Or, or an organization for the blind, such as Dedicom in the Netherlands, and DBSV in Germany, that's the Federation of Blind and Partially Sighted. The APH in the USA, that's the American Printing House. And Les Doigts qui Rêvent and Mes Mains en Or are a non-profit publisher in France. Parents and teachers in special or ordinary schools can also do it themselves. Both types of designers can use our guidelines for support. The techniques of tactile images. These are some techniques that can be used to create a tactile book. You can use gluing, no major investments in cutting machines, but a lot of labor time per copy. You can make it as relief drawings, random design time plus fully machine made, resulting in lower costs for series. Or you can use embossing, fully mechanical production, good for large print runs. Not expensive, but good quality paper is required. You can use thermoforming, random design time plus fully mechanized production, therefore inexpensive in series. Or you can sew a book. It's a lot of work, but it's fun to do. What makes a tactile book accessible? Books must be designed and produced to be accessible with a large black print. That's important because another child that can see can read together with the blind child. Braille texts, of course, varied tactile illustrations, color contrast to stimulate residual vision. That's important because some children can see something. They are not completely blind, but has residual vision. So it's nice for them to see some contrast and color. A binding that allows the book to lie flat when opened. Book adapted to the size of the hands. When you read a book to a child of 2 years old, it has small hands, so it's nicer to have a small book, so it can hold the book himself. We advise to add braille or tactile element on the cover so that the child can recognize the book. What kind of book do I want? These books are made with swell paper, collage technique, embossing, swell paper with color, a sewn fabric book. You see very different books, and they all are nice to use, but you have to think about for what child do I want to make my book. So if you have a very young child, it's nice to use a collage book or a sewn book. And when the child is something older, you can use with line techniques. The key concepts in the design are the accessibility. All these tips are important to optimize the accessibility of a tactile book. For children with residual vision, magnification and color contrast are very important. A key object can be, for instance, a stuffed dog or a toy spider. Simple illustrations transformed into tactile experience. Experience-based moments, tips and tricks. The project group has created a list of tips and tricks to help with the reading of a tactile book. All those tips and tricks are in the book itself, but you can find it also on the website of TACTICOS. For instance, prepare the environment, sitting comfortably. Position of the book is important. Discuss the cover, describe it briefly, encourage curiosity by asking questions. Introduce the title and synopsis. Read the title aloud. Explain the story in simple language. The story first, then feel or just the other way around. Depending on the child's needs. Imagining the story before tactile exploration. Hand on hand or hand under hand. Tactile exploration can you do by follow the hand of the child, then it's hand on hand, or you can let the child follow your hand, then you hold your hand under the child's hand. It supports tactile learning. It helps overcome tactile defensiveness. Repetition is also important, helps reinforce learning. Verbal information focused on the story helps connect the tactile experience to the story. Keep the descriptions brief but complete enough. The knowledge of the child's level, access the cognitive level for a younger child, keep the activity short. Creating a safe and enjoyable experience, relaxed environment, discover the book at your own speed. The knowledge of book handling, handle the book gently, ensure raised elements or braille are not damaged. The layout. The right-hand page has the illustration, and on the left-hand page is the text in braille and in large print. And you can test extra skills, include additional learning. On our website, the TACTICOS website offers guidelines, sample books, news, trainings, courses, and contact information. The guidelines consist of 9 downloadable chapters. Here you see all the chapters. It's about what is a special book, the use of concepts, designing a tactile book, tactile graphics, accompanying explanations, ideas for story elements, production techniques and materials. The making of the book, of course, the making of Roundy, and the making of a long journey. I hope you have heard a lot of nice things, and I think you all now can ask some questions. Send us your question in the chat, and together we can answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yvonne. That was very helpful, I guess. I think everybody has a very clear idea now what we've done in the project and where people can find the results. Of course, if there are any questions after this session, people can also still contact us on the website. You can also find where to contact us, tacticos.eu. If someone has a question and you want to raise your hand, that's also possible. Hello, are the books available in English? And what is the rocket in Roundy 3D printed? Yvonne, do you want to answer the question?
Sorry, I was stopping the. I was closing the presentation, so
okay.
Can you read the question again?
Whether the books are available in English and whether the rocket in Roundy is 3D printed.
Yes, the books are available in English, and the rocket is 3D printed, so it's 3D. Yes, and it's made by Dedicom.
So I see a question whether they are available in Greek.
Not yet, but no. For other countries, we have the books in English, in French, and in Dutch. But when other countries want to have the books, they can order a book with the front page in the right language, but then the text they have to make it themselves, to put it in the book.
Great, yeah.
So
Right.
the pictures and with a long journey, the material, you can order the materials and to make it the book yourself, because it's too expensive to let it make by Les Doigts qui Rêvent. So you can order the materials, you can make it yourself. The Book of Roundy you can order at Dedicon. But if you want the text in your own language, then you can change the text from English in your own language and put it in the.
allowed, there was a question about copyright, but this is allowed, yes.
Yes, it is allowed to put the text in your own language in the book, but you can't change the text. You have to keep it the way we made it.
The digital files should be on the website, right, Aukje?
For the text, you mean? I am not sure whether they are already on.
Not at this
I'll have to
moment.
double check. I'm not sure, or whether they will need to write to us and we can send it.
Are there more questions?
I see. Let me know if there are any other resources for designers. I suppose that the guidelines, it's a very extensive document, and every chapter also has a lot of references to literature that was used and other resources that you can use. So I guess that the guidelines are a very complete and extensive document where you can also find a lot of other resources in there. No, there are no costs for the files. There would be cost for the do-it-yourself kit.
Yes, that was about 75 euros, I thought.
I think so, yes.
74, 75, such as, yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you can order at Les Doigts qui Rêvent. So you have to, of course, in our on our website, you can find all the addresses.
Congratulations on the impressive results achieved with the TACTICOS project. I'm joining with Serbia, and
I hear people are already discussing the project. That's good.
Could you please hear more about the concept of structure?
Any other questions?
I see 12 chats.
No further questions so far.
No.
Thank you, Valia, for sharing the link. Valia has put the link to the project in the chat. Can I use your materials as a non-profit organization? Yes.
Yes, it can. Yeah.
Yeah. Will you share the outcomes at the Bologna Book Fair? No plans yet, maybe. Yeah, would be great to make a connection there. We can look into that.
All right, here's the link. Is it okay if you share your guidelines for teachers in Denmark? Denmark?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can share the guidelines for everyone who wants to use it.
Yeah, it's available in, like you said, in 4 languages. 3
In
languages.
the 3 languages, yes, English,
And
French,
be
and Dutch.
translated. Yes, it can be translated as long
Yeah.
as you change the content and don't use it for
Yeah.
commercial purposes. Then, yeah.
Oh, A Long Journey is also in Flemish.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm joining you from Belgrade, Serbia. First of all, I want to congratulate you on the impressive result achieved through the TACTICOS project. I am interested in the training you conducted as a part of the project. Could you please share more about the concept and the structure of the training, how long it lasted, who the participants were, and what key competencies were targeted, for example?
On the website, we're now collecting all the final results and preparing all the final results also for the agency to share. So there will be a final report, and all of the projects can be downloaded also from the results portal from Erasmus+. And we will also upload a roadmap, which gives you instructions on how to set up a training in a similar way that we have done as well. It includes also presentations and some more information.
And what were your targeted group for the training?
There was a group of teachers and professionals, and also a group of parents. And we did the training in Belgium for teachers and parents, and in the Netherlands, and also in France. So, yeah, professionals and parents.
How long does it last?
Well,
Yeah.
if you have, of course, at first you have the explanation. It's about an hour, and then it costs now about 1 or 2 hours for the workshop, because you want to do a workshop with the people to let them experience how it is to make books, tactile books. So not especially the line drawings, because that's that's made from for Dedicon. But when you want to experience how to make a collage book or a sewed book or a glued book, then it's good to do it yourself, and that costs time. So I think it costs a half a day. So a morning, 9 to 12, for instance.
Thank you very much for your response. Yeah.
No further questions? I would say if there are no further questions, I would like to thank Ivona for her presentation, and thank all the partners very much in working together, setting up this project and creating such wonderful results. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact us through the TACTICOS website. And also thanks to ENVITER for making it possible that we transfer the knowledge to such a wide group of people. It's really great to see that there were so many people here. So thanks to everybody. And yeah, I think we can close off. Philip, do you want to close as the ENVITER representative here?
Yes, maybe nothing to add, but yeah, thank you very much to all of you for your participation, and to you, Okia, to Ivona, for the presentation of this very good project Tacticos, which produced very concrete tools and results. So it is very interesting, and and as you said, it's for free, like in many EU projects. So it's for the benefit of everyone.
Yes, yeah, the
Yes.
guidelines, etc., are for free.
Yeah.
But not the material from the a long
No.
journey. That's the only thing you have to buy, the materials. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
which
of
makes sense
course.
because they have to produce them, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
I
Yes.
talked about the guidelines, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
The results
Yeah.
of the project.
Yes, that's for free for everybody. So that's very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I say something in the end? So my name is Vera. Most of you got the link from me, and you will be also getting another link so you can provide us your feedback about this webinar, okay? And with the link, I will send also the link for our YouTube, for ENVITER's YouTube channel, where you can see the recording of this presentation. Thank you for the project Tacticos about such interesting webinar. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.